Over 18 movies incorporated Onward Christian Soldiers into their production. The Reverend Sabin Baring-Gould was the classic Renaissance man, born a scion of an old Devon family, country squire, Anglican priest, hagiographer, antiquarian, novelist, folk song collector, eclectic scholar, and also an early archaeologist. He was respected for his work on Dartmoor and Cornwall in Wales and in France. He even wrote a book about his exploration. He was an accomplished architect, designing his family manor home, the Lew Trenchard House, as well as the beautiful little Church of St. Peter in Lew Trenchard. He was born on Dix's Field in Exeter, and he was baptized at St. Sidwell's Church in Exeter. In 1864, while curate at Horbury Bridge, Yorkshire, England, he tells us, quote, "For a Pentecost procession, it was arranged that our school should join forces with that of a neighboring village. I sat up at night and I resolved to write something. And the result was Onward Christian Soldiers." He took his degrees at Clare College, Cambridge, and then began teaching at Hurstpierpoint School in Sussex. Taking holy orders, he first served in Dalton, Yorkshire, then in East Mercia in Essex, and then finally at Lew Trenchard. A prodigious writer, among his more interesting books are History of Oddities and Strange Events, A Hungarian Bath in Blood, and the Book of Werewolves. In fact, Bram Stoker relied heavily on werewolves as he researched his famous Dracula. Gould died at his beloved Lew Trenchard in 1924. Sir Arthur Sullivan was born in Lambeth in 1842. His father was an army bandmaster and a professor of music. Sullivan showed prodigious musical talent from a very early age, playing every instrument in the military band by the age of 8. At age 12, he entered the Chapel Royal as a chorister in 1854. And he began his studies at the Royal Academy of Music in London 2 years later, at age 14. From age 16 until 19, he studied at the Leipzig Conservatory in Germany. Back in London, he was a church organist at the fashionable St. Michael's, Chester Square, and taught to earn a living. At age 24, having successfully composed oratorios and music for Shakespeare plays, he was appointed Professor of Composition in 1866 at the Royal Academy of Music at age 24. In 1875, the impresario Richard D'Oyly-Carte suggested him to William S. Gilbert, who had a libretto ready but no composer. The product of that combination was the trial by jury, and the rest, as they say, is history. They continued their collaboration, producing such hits as HMS Pinafore, The Pirates of Penzance, The Mikado, and Yeoman of the Guard. He published his hymn tunes in the Hymnary in 1872 and church hymns in 1874. He also contributed to a hymnal chiefly from the Book of Praise in 1867 and to the Presbyterian collection Psalms and Hymns for Divine Worship that very same year. Sullivan always refused to grant permission to use his popular operetta melodies for hymns. Eventually, Oxford and Cambridge both bestowed honorary doctorates upon him. He composed a tune for our hymn of the day in 1871, naming it St. Gertrude after his friend's wife while staying at their country home. He suffered from heart failure and died on November the 22nd, the feast day of St. Cecilia, patron saint of music. He wanted to be buried with his parents and brother, but Queen Victoria commanded that he be laid to rest in the crypt of St. Paul's Cathedral.
Move the